Good morning, everyone, and Merry Christmas Eve, and welcome to the Mayday Network. We're so glad that you're here. I'm Michelle Kinney. I'm here with Julie Roginski. And we're going to talk to you about a few things today, one of which is the award show formerly known as the Kennedy Center Honors, which aired last night. But before we get there, we want to talk a little bit about what our president of the United States spent his evening doing last night, because the Kennedy Center Honors were pre-taped and heavily edited. They were taped a few weeks ago. Dear leader was home, eating Pop-Tarts in bed, watching the broadcast, and felt very angry, I'm assuming, that no one was giving him, I don't know, headlines saying how awesome he was, because he did Truth Social last evening, I think around, I don't know when it was. It was like early in the evening, and he was saying, oh, I'm the master of ceremony, and everybody should watch. And if I'm so good at this, maybe I should not be president anymore and should just be a full-time host. To which I say, yes. Go.
I endorse that
Good.
idea.
We'll give you the whole building if you want. Go live there. Set up a cot. Um, but so after the broadcast was over, I think, no one was really saying the things that he really wanted to hear. So he decided to have a little hissy fit overnight. Julie, you saw this, yes?
It was, yes, because Donald Trump and I share something in common, which is that we don't sleep. So, although he doesn't sleep because he's insane and has nothing to do but airs grievances, Michelle, you and I don't sleep because we are working really hard to get the show ready for 8 a.m. The following day. So, yes, unfortunately, when the President of the United States puts out something on Truth Social at 12:30, not that I'm on Truth Social or follow him, but I see the updates because they trickle in for other social media. So, Michelle, I don't know if you have those screenshots.
I do.
Guys, I just want to put context for a sec before we show that. Okay. He is, and this is not funny. I mean, this is like, you kind of read this and you're like, okay, he's crazy. He's going after Stephen Colbert. He's going after all the other late night talk show hosts, which we'll show in a second. But I want to put this in context of what's happening at CBS with 60 Minutes over the last few days. The fact that on Friday, he went on a tangent and a rant again about how CBS and 60 Minutes are even worse after Paramount Skydance acquired them, after his friends, the Ellisons, acquired them, than they were before. And of course, as soon as that happened, Barry Weiss pulled this CCOT segment. He's trying to take over the media, and the media is allowing him to do it. So I want you to just, what he does is, again, it's the same thing as the Russia thing, right? Like, Russia, if you're listening, I hope you get those other emails that Hillary Clinton's hiding. And of course, Russia jumps to it that very same day and hacks into the servers of the DNC and elsewhere. And this is the same thing, right? Like Paramount Skydance, if you're listening, I think 60 Minutes sucks. I think it should be canceled. I think Stephen Colbert should be fired now, not 6 months from now. And let's see what happens, because Paramount Skydance is trying to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery in a hostile bid. And to do that, even if they were to get that ability to do that from the shareholders, they still need the FCC to approve that merger. And the FCC, of course, is controlled by Brendan Carr, who is controlled by Donald Trump.
Who is only 46 years old, according to his Wikipedia, which is shocking.
So let's look at these tweets in that context.
Yep. Okay. So he was, up, and he was all kinds of angry. Let's see. I just want to make sure I'm going in the correct order here. This one, okay. Who has the worst late night host? CBS, ABC, or NBC? They all have three things in common: high salaries, no talent, really low ratings. Okay. And then he says the following: Stephen Colbert is a pathetic train wreck with no talent or anything else necessary for show business success. Now, after being terminated by CBS but left out to dry, he has actually gotten worse. along with his non-existent ratings. Stephen is running on hatred and fumes, a dead man walking. CBS should, quote, put him to sleep, end quote. Now, all caps, is the humanitarian, no, now it is the humanitarian thing to do, exclamation point. The President of the United States is suggesting that someone euthanize Stephen Colbert, figuratively and likely literally. There's so many things that are so ridiculous about this statement. Obviously, Stephen Colbert is not a pathetic train wreck. He has all the talent and has been extremely successful.
And will continue to be, because somebody like Netflix or some streamer will pick him up, they'll make more money, and it'll be a loss. It'll be a loss, a massive loss.
Not to mention, when they announced the cancellation of his show, he had the highest ratings of anyone on late night. And I am wearing my Late Show with Stephen Colbert sweatshirt today in solidarity with Mabu. So several things stand out to me, Julie, other than yes, the merger aspect of this and like the wanting to control the media aspect of this. At the heart of this is an empty, monstrous shell of a man who has no talent and is not even mediocre. And he so desperately wants to be accepted and revered and thought of as this like showman, and like, because he hosted the Kennedy Center honors last night. I just cannot even begin to tell you how weird that is. That's just not something presidents do. They certainly don't name the building after themselves. But like,
Well,
he so desperately wants people to say nice things about him in addition. And so he lashes out at everybody who has the attention that he wants.
And there's two other things that he posted right after that Stephen
Yes,
Colbert.
I have it. I have
right?
it.
Because
Yep.
that's the really, as chilling as this is, the next
Mhm.
one is even more chilling. Go ahead, Michelle.
If network newscasts and their late night shows are almost 100% negative to President Donald J. Trump, MAGA, and the Republican Party, shouldn't their valuable broadcast licenses be terminated? I say yes.
So let's be very clear here. What is happening? And then he finishes that up by immediately putting out a True Social saying "Merry Christmas." Like,
Oh,
okay,
yes.
yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Okay, Merry Christmas to you too, Mr. President.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what is shocking about this, but not surprising.
Yeah.
He is threatening ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox, but haha, not really,
Mm-hmm.
with ruin, because some of these, what happens is that the way they operate is they have broadcast licenses to also acquire local stations.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of how they make their money. I mean, he's basically suggesting that he's going to shut down the big four if they
Mm-hmm.
don't use whatever propaganda his White House sends them.
Yep.
And if they don't pull late night. I mean, I believe that Disney will probably get rid of late night altogether. They'll probably get rid of Kimmel. I don't know what NBC is going to do, because of course you have Jimmy Fallon on NBC, who's been bending the knee to Trump from day one. I mean,
He's a clown. Jimmy Fallon's a clown.
Not in a good way. I mean, Jimmy Fallon's a clown.
No.
So they'll probably let Jimmy Fallon stay, because Jimmy Fallon's, ever since the day he went to Trump.
He's like, I don't want to like upset anybody.
Yeah. So Jimmy Fallon is like the court jester at this point.
Yeah, he's like a clown and a Jay Leno all wrapped up in one.
Yep, exactly. So, what I kind of want to say is, I don't really care about these late night shows in the sense that, like, I don't watch them. I'll see the clips afterwards. I think Kimmel is great.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think Colbert is often great, but it's political humor that you could find elsewhere. You don't need to find it on the networks. But what you're talking about here is the same thing that you're talking about with something much more serious, which is CBS. And what you're talking about with CBS is 60 Minutes. So on the one hand, you have 60 Minutes, which is straight up news.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, you have culture,
Yeah,
which is Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel. And what he's trying to do is that he is trying to control both sides of the equation.
Yep.
Both the news and culture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I mean, but like again, like first of all, Donald Trump's, I hate to admit this, but he is kind of good at least infiltrating himself into culture. I mean, and what he thinks and understands is that all press is good press.
Yep.
I don't agree with that, but it is what it is. And this is why he shows up to everything. And this is why he tweets and truths about literally everything. But again, and I've said this, there's also this desperate longing to be a part of it all, that he's never been accepted by the people in the media because he's a joke. And the only time he has been is when Mark Burnett gave him a TV show, The Apprentice, and was able to paint himself as some successful businessman to the American people, which we all know is bullshit. But this is why, like when Jimmy Jesus, Jimmy Kimmel, so many Jimmys, Jimmy Kimmel hosted the Oscars, and the camera pans out into the audience. Um, you know, he sees all these famous, beautiful, successful people laughing at him, and he absolutely hates it. If there's one thing Donald Trump cannot handle is these kinds of people laughing at him. He can't take it. And that's the other part of this. And that's why he's like making himself the host. And like, yes, it's because he's a dictator and like a fascist and all these things too, but it's also that. Because there's plenty of dictators, I think, that wouldn't really care much about that. But listen, it's scary. It's like you said, it's shocking, but never surprising. And like it's just
This all happened in a year, Michelle. As we're
I
approaching,
know.
the end of the first year of the Trump presidency. We have about another month to go.
Yep.
And 3 long years to go after that. But
Yeah, maybe.
when they all went to Hungary, I'll never forget this. When CPAC went to Hungary and did their conference from Budapest back, it's got to be 10 years ago or so. I kind of laughed and I was like, okay, these little wannabe dictator, Viktor Orban wannabes, they weren't kidding. They took, and Tucker Carlson went and spent a lot of time with Orban back when he was.
Yes, they had CPAC in Budapest.
But also Tucker went to Budapest and did a lot of stuff there when he was at Fox with Orban and elsewhere. And that's what we are about to become. Because what he's doing, we don't have government censors in the sense that we have somebody sitting from the government at CBS line iteming what jokes Stephen Colbert can say, line iteming.
There's no like Hollywood production code for what the government says you can say.
Right. But we don't need that because he has installed corporate overlords like Barry Weiss who do that. And again, I go back to what I said yesterday, and I wrote about it this morning, which is that you have I wonder, and I know this is going to upset a lot of people, and I'm sorry if this is upsetting you, but this is not an exaggeration. I asked the question, if inmates escaped from Dachau and had staggered into a newsroom in 1930s Berlin, if they were starved, if they were beaten, if they were carrying testimony of a system designed to disappear human beings, the most dangerous person in that room would not have been the government censor, who Michelle we just talked about. It would have been the editor who smiled and sympathetically took notes, promised serious consideration, and then quietly killed the story under the pretense that it didn't present both sides of the concentration camp debate. Yeah. And that editor in today's American media landscape has a name, and her name is Barry Weiss. And that is what's so dangerous. They don't need to put government censors into these newsrooms because they're using their corporate might, because they are speaking of socialism, they're using the power of the government to interfere with private business.
Right. And the thing about Hungary as well, it's that was one of the first things that Viktor Orban did, was one for the media, and it's one of the pieces of advice that he gave to Donald Trump and this regime. because it's something he understood, that if you can control the media, you can control the public. And I mean, you look at Hungary now, and it's like their infrastructure is crumbling. I mean, all of their resources, they're not doing well. Hungary is not doing well at all, at
You
all.
know, it's not just Hungary. When Putin first came to power in 2000, there was a very popular Russian like puppet show, I guess, called Kuklu, which means literally dolls. And it would make fun of, it was like a late night thing that would make fun of the regime. It would make fun of life. It was the
Mhm.
first thing he shut down.
Yeah.
And it was quite popular.
Yep.
First thing he shut down. And now, of course, again, you don't have governments. I don't really remember. I don't think you have government censors in Russia right now. You certainly had them back in the Soviet days. You don't have them now. Everybody just knows that they can't say anything.
Right.
Now, there you can't say anything because you'll end up in the gulag. Here you can't say anything because they're using the power of the purse here. They're using capitalism against us. They're
Mm.
basically saying that if you don't keep your mouth shut, will not get your mergers approved, your acquisitions approved.
Yeah.
How's that any different? How is that any different? And the next
First
time he
thing,
accuses somebody of being a Marxist, socialist, communist, whatever, look in the mirror, my friend.
yeah, yeah.
'Cause
It's
you're the
just
one using government to
Well, I
affect
mean, it's all
and
just
oppress.
weaponization of ideas. I mean, these are
Yep.
the same people who say that they're fiscally conservative, and we all know that that's horseshit. Um, is just the up is down, down is up. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. These people can hold all the levers of power, and they will still either feel or express that they're still not in power, and that they're the victims. They're the victims, even though they have all the power. And somebody somewhere decided that the left punches down and the right punches up. And
Mhm.
I don't know who came up with this or where this comes from, or I'm sure it's been manufactured, but that has just been the idea. So the fact that they are quite literally in charge of everything and controlling everything, including the markets, including the media conglomerates, they still think they are victims because they don't control everything. And until they do, and still, I don't even know, maybe then they'll still feel like victims because there will be people out in the world who still don't like them. It's And John Winkler is actually asking, do we believe the GDP number from yesterday? I
Um,
mean,
sure. Let me just say,
I mean, I
you know,
trust nothing. You know
I
what I
trust
mean?
I trust nothing either, but let me just be very clear. I spent all of last year in 2024 going on CNN on a daily basis and telling people the economy was doing really well because GDP was going up and inflation was going down and all the great numbers were out there.
Mhm.
And nobody believed it. It's not that it didn't happen, it's that nobody believed it. If you dig deep into these numbers, what you see is that it's being driven largely by the very, very, very wealthy
Mhm.
and by uh, the very upper middle, the very wealthy, and then people right below them, like upper middle class
Yeah.
people who are still spending money on travel, still spending money on big expensive Christmas presents, but
Yeah.
everybody below them is suffering. So we have a tale of two economies right now, and it's interesting because I spoke. Was it yesterday? What's it? I don't even know. The days are like blending in this week. Today's Wednesday. On
Mhm.
Monday, I had a phone conversation with an old friend who used to be the chairman of a major Wall Street bank.
Mm.
And I
Mhm.
said to him, what's going on with the market? Like,
Mhm.
should we, because obviously he knows. I'm like, should we pull back? Should we invest some more? Like, what should we do? And he said something, and this is a guy who I've known for a very long time who doesn't typically give out market advice because he's kind of, a step up from your usual broker.
Yeah.
But he said, because he's now trading for himself, he's no longer,
Yeah. I was like, I know who you're talking about
yeah,
now. That's why it's funny.
yeah. And yeah, and he said, he goes, listen, the market's going to do great. He was like, inflation's coming down. Um, AI is powering this economy like crazy. It's going to continue to power the market. He goes, get all in, like invest some more.
Really?
Yes, because if you
Ugh.
have the money to invest big money in the market
Yeah. I
because of
mean, I
AI,
don't, but yeah,
you're,
good.
and he goes, what's going to happen is, rates are going to come down. And so that's going to be good. That's going to juice the economy too. He said, but it's not gonna trickle down to anybody.
No, because trickle down economics is
No, but I
not
mean, what he's
a
basically
thing.
admitting, and this is a guy who's in the very top 1% of the
Mhm.
world, right? What he's basically saying is guys like me are gonna do great.
Yeah, of course.
He's like, everybody else is gonna be screwed.
Yeah, it's the big beautiful bill and all this crap. I mean, Donald Trump has betrayed the American people. The big beautiful bill and all the tax cuts from his last term were not for people like me or you. They were for his people
Of course.
with a
So
B in front of their alien.
yes. And so that's who's juicing the economy now. So do I believe that the economy is growing? Yes, because of AI. Yes, because people like that are spending like crazy
Mhm.
because they all got big bonuses and so on and so forth. But everybody else is screwed. And it's exactly the same problem that Democrats had last year when, ultimately people were like, going out there, including me, and saying the economy is doing really well. And on paper it was. And in reality, people couldn't afford to buy eggs. And they still can't. Now they can't afford to buy meat.
Yeah, trust me. We
So,
went shopping for Christmas dinner yesterday, and I was like,
yeah.
what?
And then, I mean,
Seriously?
somebody in the chat said that data centers, Richard Don Quixote said, the data centers are making electricity more expensive and using vast amounts of water. Yeah, if you want to know why your
Oh
electricity
God,
are
yeah,
through the roof,
yeah, and
then
not to
that's the
mention these
stuff.
these AI data centers are using more water and more resources than anything. I mean, like the environmental impacts, this is the other part of AI that people are just not understanding, or I don't think is being messaged. I'm sure on purpose. Is I feel like AI is going to destroy the planet faster than anything. I mean, entire townships. This is why they're building these centers near like small towns that don't have a lot of money or people with money or power or anything like that, because they know that they can come in and completely destroy water supply and the environment around these areas, and no one's going to do anything about it. And it's the same reason a lot of these like little white nationalist people are going in and creating their own little whites only towns in these places where there's not going to be a lot of pushback, because these people don't, they barely have two pennies to rub together. They're not going to really concern themselves with fighting back against the powers that be. But this is all very depressing and upsetting, and but it does relate to, well, the initial thing that we talked about with the Truth Social posts, and his obsession with culture and power and controlling the media, which is why another part of the reason why he hosted the Kennedy Center honors last night.
Bread and
And
circus. He's giving people the
guys,
circus, not the bread, but he's giving them the circus.
guys. Mm-mm-mm. Now, if you joined the live that I did, um, when he renamed the building, the Donald J. Trump and John F. Kennedy Memorial, Kennedy Center. You know what this stuff means to me. My background is in the performing arts. This is the kind of award show, highbrow kind of, you know, top-notch awards show honoree that happens every year that I certainly never miss, but I certainly missed it this year, because it was like the Temu Kennedy Center honors, or as one might call the dishonors. Um, I just want to read a couple things that the Washington Post wrote about this before I show some clips. This is from the Washington Post. On CBS, it was still the Kennedy Center honors. The network kept Kennedy Center's original name in its broadcast, and CBS News instructed staff to do the same. There was an email saying as such. And let me get rid of this banner off here so I can read that. At least on air, the Kennedy Center's name remained unchanged for its biggest night of the year. Now it talks about how it was pre-taped because it happened on December 7th. But was interesting to me because I was like, how are they going to edit this down? Because Donald Trump's not exactly known for his um, what's the word? Boundaries for speaking
Yeah.
length, like So the televised broadcast presented a paired version of Trump's opening remarks, cutting his introduction from about 12 minutes live to 2 minutes for viewers at home, leaving out several of his looser jokes, including a reference to the laughing audience as, quote, miserable, horrible people. Um, Shortly after the president's post, according to two staffers, because he had posted like right before, I'm going to be hosting, it's going to be amazing. Two staffers who spoke on the condition of anonymity to share non-public materials sent another note, quote, we should not be calling it Trump Kennedy Center or the Trump Kennedy Center honors unless quoting from those who don't realize an official name change only comes from Congress. Paramount Skydance, which is pursuing a hostile bid for Warner Brothers Discovery that would require administration approval, and CBS didn't respond to requests for comment. I just thought that was interesting.
Yep.
And then, of course, overnight, this is from Variety this morning, Donald Trump rages over pathetic train wreck. Stephen Colbert says CBS should cancel his show, now put him to sleep. This is all.
I'm sure the ratings for this.
Oh, crap. Total crap.
We'll find out what the ratings were. But I mean, I just remember, Michelle, the greatest Kennedy Center honors ever was during the Obama years and this is maybe personal to me, but when Hart got up and did that rendition.
I did a whole show about it.
I know, of Stairway to Heaven. I know you did. Yeah.
Please go look at it. Go find it, guys. I did. Sorry, I've got this itch on my leg and it's like, I'm like leaning over. Yeah, it's the greatest thing ever. And actually, I tweeted about it and I posted the whole video on my Twitter. And I said, for the Kennedy Center honors that once stood for greatness and for the greatest performance that reminded us of what that looks like and what it felt like before its value and greatness were stripped away, replaced by gaudiness and hollowed out by a monstrous shell of a man.
I mean,
and of course, these MAGA people, now this probably bot or whatever, greatness, attendance, and revenue dropped by 30% in the last 2 years. Now, there was a whole bunch of comments in my comments saying Grok. Now, if you don't know Grok is like the chat GPT of Twitter. So you can ask Grok whatever. And all these people were like, what condition was the Kennedy Center when Trump founded or whatever? And all of the responses said what's below, quote, the Kennedy Center in 2025 is operational, but facing severe attendance and revenue declines over 30% from prior years due to controversies over Trump's renaming efforts and board takeover.
I've just got to say this. If you are a American and you are going through something, I don't know what that is. Maybe you can't afford to buy your kids Christmas presents this year the way you wanted to because of tariffs. They're more expensive. Maybe you can't afford your health care because your Obamacare subsidies are about to expire. Maybe you can't afford to make a nice Christmas dinner this week because you can't afford to buy meat that is exponentially more expensive than it was last year. Mm-hmm. Whatever it is you are going through, and everybody, unless they are very well off, is going through something. You should know that the president of the United States, rather than focusing on whatever issue it is that you have to deal with, is going through something in the middle of the night involving his own ego. And that is that nobody applauded him for his fantastic hosting ability when he hosted the Kennedy Center Honors. I'm sure a lot of people in the Truth Social orbit were saying, go get him, Mr. President. That was great. Best host ever. I'm sure that his White House staff probably applauded him, saying, we watched it, Mr. President. Fantastic. You should be hosting late night yourself. All of these things, but not the people who he wanted.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's my favorite part.
Not the people who he wanted.
They asked Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise said no.
Tom Cruise said no, and that guy's a wackadoodle.
Right. But he's not stupid.
He's not stupid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, so he settles for Sylvester Stallone, who back when Donald Trump was coming up was one of the biggest.
Oh, it was like the most 80s of 80s.
Yeah. Listen, if this were 1985 or even 1979 or whatever.
It would have been like top of his game.
Top of his game. Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive.
Michael Crawford, who is the original Phantom.
Yeah.
And I have okay, I have things to say about some of this, and we'll end the show with some AMA, I promise. But like, I just want to go through some of this, guys, because first of all, I'm going to play his entrance, and then we're going to watch what he had to say. Hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
I cannot begin to tell you how upsetting this is.
What is this music?
Right, right? I was like, is this the love show?
The 70s and 80s. It's like an Aaron Spelling show. It's like a variety show. Oh, it's from Rocky. It's from Rocky.
Well, either way, but listen, it is of a style that it is very 80s, very 70s. And I was like, is this a Love Boat? What is going on? So here,
actually, look at the design too. It's almost designed like
so.
It's. Hey, has anybody ever been to Foxwoods up in Connecticut?
No, I haven't.
You know, like we were talking about, like the stage of Foxwoods here. I've never been to the stage of Foxwoods, but this is like some like casino somewhere in the hinterlands. But keep going.
Yeah. So we're gonna listen to what he had to say, and that's just listen. We're doing this for Christmas Eve because it's, aside from all the horror of this, it's funny because he's so pathetic and untalented and uninteresting, trying so hard. He is going so hard, thinking that like this is the stolen valor of the performing arts. Okay.
His highest recognition for lifetime achievement in the.
Oh wait, this is it. Sorry.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. A very big hello and welcome to a very special evening and one of the most important evenings in the American cultural realm. This is something going to be very special, and the Kennedy Center is very special, and we're bringing this building back to life like nobody ever thought was even possible. And tonight we're here to congratulate the Kennedy Center honorees.
Yeah.
This is our nation's highest recognition for lifetime achievement in the performing arts. And each of the incredible 2025 Kennedy Center honorees has earned the distinction many, many times over. They're really amazing, amazing people. They're among the greatest artists and actors, performers, musicians, singers, and songwriters ever to walk the face of the earth. Personally, I love them all, and I know that America loves them also, and that's why this is such an exciting evening. So we are going to begin tonight with Sylvester Stallone and some of the fantastic things that he's done. And Sly, you've been my friend for a long time. You've been a very special friend in so many different ways. When I needed help, I knew not to go to Sly because I don't think he would have been there for me. But now he would. But after tonight, I think he will. And we love you, Sly. And this is a big honor. And congratulations to you and Jennifer and the family. A fantastic family, a fantastic man. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah. So again, this is where I remind people that was originally a 12-minute speech that they cut 10 minutes off of because he was rambling and insulting people. And CBS.
They should have aired the whole thing.
Oh, I know.
Because
they
should have aired the crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And Sylvester, listen, first of all, it's like watching people like, I don't know, encased in amber. Like, what is wrong? Like Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, this would be like if the senior superlatives in high school and like the loser, like, you know, the Biff Tannins were running the senior superlative awards. And they all gave themselves every single award, even though they're not good at anything. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, they get most musical, they get most sporty, they even though they can't do anything. Like that's literally what this is. They just give themselves awards and Purple Hearts and medals and things. Like they're meaningless. They're meaningless. And like he doesn't know he's okay. Before he went and did the walkthrough of the Kennedy Center, right? When he was naming himself, I'm going to be the king of the world or whatever. He'd never been to the Kennedy Centers, anything before. He'd never stepped foot in the place. And so for him to walk around, and of course, this is what he does. Oh, this place is a dump, whatever. Again, if you've never been to the Kennedy Center, it is one of the most beautiful, pristine, well-kept buildings in all of Washington, D. I mean, and everything's, pretty well kept, but like as a performing arts center is beautiful, beautiful. Here's and also just like so the White House's and I refuse to call it this. The Kennedy Center's Twitter account was doing all sorts of like this cinematic. I'm like having a whole moment here with the window again. Having this cinematic propagandized content surrounding this, which again is what this administration has figured out, and they're really good at it. They film everything. Everything is content, right? So here is Melanoma's little video. Great. And then
this is a group that really is unique. I think it's one of the, look, over the years I've been watching, and you've had some wonderful honorees, but I think this is really very much unparalleled. So it's very exciting being chairman, but maybe more importantly, saving this incredible structure and building and concept. And it's done so well. We've raised a tremendous amount of money tonight for the building itself and for charities overall. And we're really happy. It's been you see the way it's been received. It's been.
Oh, okay. So, and the other part of this that I just really have to say, so Michael Crawford's the musical theater guy there, right? And I just want to read a message from my friend who I messaged last night. So just so people know, there are a few people in the Broadway scene who have been completely blacklisted since Donald Trump and the vaccines and all of this, okay? Laura Osnes is one of them. Carrie Manolakis is the other one. Carrie Manolakis was like, there was actually a very viral performance of her singing Creep that went like crazy viral, maybe like 10, 15 years ago. So go look that up. She's very good. She's very pretty. She's very talented. She went to NYU, but has since turned into this insane anti-vaxxer. And she's been performing at Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s like events and stuff. Cuckoo. Laura Osnes is like super religious. So is her husband. And she also proclaimed that she was not going to get vaccinated. But everyone found out she's MAGA and the whole thing. And like this, it's complete and, fundamentally it goes against everything that the theater community and the people in the theater
community is just, if you're not from New York, you don't know the Broadway theater community, like the most welcoming, accepting people on earth. Like if you were shunned in high school because you were gay or you were different or you were creative or you weren't a Biff Tannen, like the Broadway theater community are your people.
Yes.
They're not just talented. They're really a community in the true sense of the word.
Never, ever have I felt more at home with my theater people. And, while it's not what I do anymore, listen, the theater kid thing is used as an insult by the right now, by the way, which is a whole thing. There was an article written, I think in the New York Times about this just the other day. Maybe I'll do a Daily Dispatch about it because it had me laughing. But so you'll see jokes written online about Carrie Manolakis and Laura Osnes all the time. So when I went through the clips and I saw that the people that they had come do the honor performances for Michael Crawford, they had Carrie Manolakis and Laura Osnes. I was dying. I was like, of course that's who they got because they're the only people they could get. And Laura and Carrie, can't get jobs anywhere else because they've been completely shunned from the industry. So I texted my friend who went to NYU with Carrie, and has been blocked on Instagram by both of them. I said, FYI, I'm watching the clips of Kennedy Center Honors and Carrie and Laura Osnes are both performing I Am Dead. He said, that's on you. He said, my college friend Carrie, who blocked me on Instagram when I said that I hope she gets polio and passes away. And I said, oh my God, I said, I have to gather clips for the show tomorrow so that I can spend some time roasting them. And I came across their faces. And I said, I immediately said, I must message you. And he said, it's a wild journey, very, very sad. And you can quote me on this. And I said, bless you, thank you. And he said, go for it. Blast her. Also, she's a lesbian. And I said, okay. And this is his friend. And I say that because, again, supporting people who actively hurt you and your community.
That's
I don't understand.
Cleaner's anthem is for survivors. I mean, I know it's called I Will Survive, but I mean, if you actually listen, it's a catchy song, but if you actually listen to the lyrics, it is for anybody who's ever survived anything. And been beaten down and downtrodden and so on. Right? Rocky is the story of a man, and I have to admit, I've never seen Rocky all the way through, but my understanding is it's the story of a man who gets punched in the face, literally and figuratively, and still perseveres.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And the Phantom of the Opera is also in many ways about somebody who's been shunted and not accepted.
Yes.
Right?
Living in the shadows. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably moving in the shadows. Somebody, it's actually probably the most Broadway of all Broadway shows for that reason, because it is the most, to some extent, the most accepting about how society,
yes,
right,
sure.
how society is really cruel and doesn't accept you, and no matter who you are. And all of these people, and Kiss is Kiss, and whatever, I like Kiss, but Gene Simmons is the son, as he talks about quite often, the son of a Holocaust survivor.
Oh, okay. Well.
What are you doing with Donald Trump, my friends? I mean, seriously, what are you doing with Donald Trump?
This is where that wellness, I mean, at least for Carrie, right? This is where that wellness to MAGA pipeline, right, has happened. Because she was, again, like really on the up and up. And then during COVID, she got cuckoo anti-vax, anti-pharma, I'm not wearing a mask, like all that stuff, which again, if people don't know this, Broadway shut down for over a year. People were out of a job. The industry almost tanked. I mean, it was bad, like bad. We didn't know if it was ever going to come back. And so people did everything and anything they could to make sure that we could all go back to work. I say we, just collectively, but like that people could go back to work and do their jobs again. And so that meant stringent testing protocols, masking when you're not on stage, vaccination requirements, like all of these things were required so that everyone could go back to work safely. Because again, on the front end of this, in the early days of COVID, some of the first places that got hit the hardest were the backstage at the Broadway theaters. There are people who were in Moulin Rouge who were so sick that they were almost hospitalized. People now have heart conditions because, again, first of all, these Broadway theaters are old. They're tiny. There's bad ventilation. And everybody's on top of each other and like kissing and like all this stuff. So, everybody got sick in these companies, and it traumatized people. And again, like have long-term health problems now because of those early days of COVID when New York got hit the hardest and the fastest. So, and then the industry shut down for over a year. And so for people like Carrie and Laura to then come out as perceived leaders in the industry, to say, I'm not going to participate in these safety measures to keep myself and the people around me safe and healthy. Everyone was like, F you, get out of here. And now they can't get work. So they have completely thrown themselves into MAGA world. There's pictures of Carrie with RFK Jr. all over the place. And like, she's become super crazy. And like her and Laura like do all this stuff together now. Catherine McPhee, by the way, is another one, but she's married to David Foster, so it doesn't matter. But like these are the MAGA theater people. And so again, like that's why I was reading all the stuff from my friend Tim, who said, quote me on it. And that's why it's so upsetting for Laura and for Carrie. I mean, if Carrie is, happens to be gay also, like I'm just like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with
It's
you?
the same as Barry Weiss. It's the same.
Yes.
Like Barry Weiss, is all about being Jewish. Great. Guess who'd be
Right.
the first one? I mean, like, what are you enabling? You're enabling somebody who had a weekend of anti-Semites standing up on stage
Yeah.
defending people who defend Hitler.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And look, ultimately, I think the joke's kind of on them because
Yeah.
maybe they'll be okay individually, but everything they stood for. I mean, Gloria Gaynor, I'm sorry, like
She
you have
gave a huge donation to Donald Trump. That's why she was there.
Oh, I know. But my point is
Yeah.
like you've now tainted your legacy.
Oh yeah.
You've
Yeah.
now tainted your legacy. Whatever
Mhm.
royalty she's making on I Will Survive, I don't know if she's going to continue to make them at that same level.
Mm-mm.
Maybe she doesn't need the money, fine, but you've tainted your legacy because you were all about acceptance.
Yeah.
And all about survivorship and all about allyship.
Mm-hmm.
And look what you did.
Yep. Yep. And to Ron Heflin here, Catherine McPhee, crap, I liked her. Yeah, she's a good singer. She is a MAGA Trump supporter and a donor. She's given money to Donald Trump. So just FYI. Mm-hmm.
And Melissa Bursensky, isn't Simmons Jewish? Yeah, his mom's a Holocaust survivor. What do you think would have happened to him?
Yeah.
Played out. Who do you think Donald Trump resembles more?
Mm-hmm. Yes, from American Idol, Catherine. Yes, her. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, the whole thing is just, it's gross and it's.
Oh, it's gross. It's upsetting. I mean, and again, Laura Osnes was like, she's always performed with the Kennedy Center Honors too, just so people know, like she's been featured on them for years and years to celebrate pretty much any soprano, like any person like that who's being honored. She's been part of the production. And it's like, again, like here she is. She's back, but not in the same way and same capacity at all. Yeah. It's really pathetic. But again, if you go on gay Twitter and you go on theater Twitter, you'll see all the people making fun of them. All because people make fun of them, but it really comes from a place of anger and betrayal. That's really where it comes from. It's upsetting, but you know what? These people, if this is the people you want to, attach yourselves to, the fascists and the people who are running concentration camps and the people who are hurting the LGBTQ community and going after trans kids. And if these are the people that you want to be with, go right ahead. Don't get your vaccine. There was a sketch on SNL over the weekend with Ariana Grande, and she was playing like a dance teacher or something, and there's a thing, it was like, express yourself through dance and say a line. And she's like, I'm not vaccinated. And does these spins across the floor. And everybody was posting that thing being like, oh, wow, look, I didn't know Laura Osnes also danced. And so that's what I mean. People they are the butt of the joke. They are the butt of the joke in the community.
That's what they can't stand. Stallone went MAGA.
Yeah.
When everything he tried to do after the 80s failed.
Yeah. And some bad work too.
So not good.
It's not good.
Jennifer Flavin, also not good.
Yeah.
But this is also the same Sylvester Stallone who would tell his wife to if she gained an extra pound, he would divorce her. Oh no, he's bad guy.
That's very Trumpy.
Yeah.
That's why when Melanoma wanted to have a kid, he said, okay, but you better lose weight immediately. He's such and refuses to be photographed with his daughter Tiffany because she's fat. That's quoted from someone on his staff during the first term, and that she was fired for it. But yeah, so that's my feeling about the whole thing. It was upsetting, but at least on the other side of it, on this Christmas Eve, we can make fun of it because it is honestly so pathetic and so try hard that it deserves all the mockery that we can possibly give it. But I would urge you to go find the clips online. Do not give Paramount Plus or CBS a single click of your Oh, look at this. Thank you so much, Joseph. Look at my coffee. So Julie, on this Christmas Eve, let's spend the last few minutes here doing some Ask Me Anything. People have any questions for us, by all means. Or if there's just things you wanna say to us, go
Student
right
loan
ahead.
wage garnishment thoughts. That's going to cause issues with affordability. Well, yeah, I mean, if you remember, Biden tried to forgive student
Oh,
loans.
I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Biden,
I hope all the people who refuse to support Joe Biden or Kamala Harris because they didn't do enough are happy. That's all I have to say about that.
yeah. And by the way, the Supreme Court prevented them from doing more,
Mm-hmm.
although it has prevented Donald Trump from doing nothing that he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, I mean, and this is all the people who were upset about the Palestinian issue, all the people who were upset about the student loan issue, that Biden and Harris weren't doing enough.
Mm-hmm.
I hope your purity tests are working out for you.
Listen, the fact that Jared Kushner is about to turn Gaza into Dubai, and the Free Palestine crew is still protesting Kamala Harris's book tour, I just am kind of like, really, like let's just, you know,
Fine.
let's. I hope you're having fun.
I hope
that
you're having fun. I hope you're having fun.
Yeah.
Because
So,
you're not going to be protesting at Columbia much longer, because Columbia is going to clamp down on your ass.
yeah.
And so
Yeah.
is every college and university that depends
sad.
on federal
It's
funding.
sad.
But
Yeah.
you know, I hope you're happy. I hope you had
Yeah.
a good time getting that all out of your system. And I mean,
Yeah.
to the people who sit there and are like, "Well, what were we supposed to do? We weren't gonna." Yeah, life is about a series of shitty choices.
Yeah.
It just is.
It really
just
just is. Jill said, Michelle, I love your traveling suitcase studio setup. Yes, this is
Did
it's
you
a
bring that Christmas tree with you?
I did. My father-in-law came up to me. He goes, Did you bring a Christmas tree with you? I said, It's for my set. It's for my little set. It's
Well,
a
now I
sad
feel
little
bad. Now I feel like I should be like,
Well, no, you have
I
I
should be like
mean,
sitting
you
like
are being
this.
touched by an angel though with the light
I am
behind
touched
you.
by an angel. That's why I have
Yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah. It's not great. It's
And I
not
can't
great.
really do this because my husband.
Yeah, and I
is
tried
over
to
here.
put these battery operated twinkle lights like in this. It doesn't look great, but and I've got my phone sitting on this other suitcase here. And then if you saw my Instagram, my setup here that I have my laptop and the microphone on is a two level cat house tree that I'm using. Yeah, here's my cat. He's like, why are you on it? I would like to play on it, but you cannot. So so that's what's going on here. Let's see. A cute tree. I want one. Yes, I have. And I have another one back in my apartment too that's battery operated. Somebody asked me actually in my comments on Instagram, and it was someone I recognized from the show in the chat. But you can get battery operated ones too if you don't have an outlet near you. So
How's the
let's
cat,
see.
Michelle? Did you get him Did you get him presents?
Did I get them presents? Well, I got them little they're little the catnip things,
Oh,
little mice. They don't know. They don't know.
ladies, did you get your fur babies gifts? I did not get Hagrid a gift, but I feel like
Wow.
Hagrid, every day is a gift for Hagrid. because
That's true.
He gets to live in this house and
Yeah.
more love than anybody else. The best gift for Hagrid is going to be when we finally finish this deck situation. Because that way we can just go out the back door.
Get
Now
out.
Hagrid has to walk up and down the stairs, and Hagrid is terrified of stairs.
Oh, some dogs are.
Well,
They don't
no,
like
you know what
stairs.
happened when he was a little teeny tiny puppy? I took him to Dwayne Reed,
Oh.
which is a drugstore
Yeah.
in New York, and I took him on the escalator, and he got on the escalator, and he saw it moving, and he was terrified.
Oh
Now he's scared of
no.
stairs because he can't trust them to not move.
Yeah, there's like they're gonna move. Oh, that's really sad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thoughts on the
Hagrid.
Supremes giving Trump a loss? Is this just to set up all the wins they will give him next year? Yeah, it's also just an opportunity for him to go back and amend. They're basically signaling to him that he can tweak.
Yeah. Well,
Plan.
and Kavanaugh really seemed to want to try and put the genie back in the bottle with his Kavanaugh. What's it everybody's calling like that you basically can stop people based on race. Like that was part of one of the other decisions that they did that they're calling it the Kavanaugh like pickup or whatever it is. And so in part of the opinion or whatever, he was writing that, you can't do this or trying to put the genie back in the bottle. But I always think with them that they're trying to not die on every hill. So when they want to do the really, really, really bad shit that they're going to do, the Kavanaugh stop. That's it. The Kavanaugh stops. Thank
Yeah.
you, BJG. That's what I meant. That so they'll have a I don't know more more good faith. I mean, who cares? I mean, the approval rating of the Supreme Court's already like zero.
Oh, they don't
almost.
care. They don't care. They're there for life. They are absolute operatives. I think Clarence Thomas and Sam Alito will probably retire 2 seconds before, probably after the 28 election if a Democrat wins, and then Republicans they're in charge. I mean, one of two things is going to happen. Either the Senate is going to be lost to the Republicans this coming year, hopefully, in which case they might retire right during lame duck so that John Thune can push through to younger people. Or they do it after the 28 election so that they can push through replacements. They're not going to allow a Democrat to ever replace them. Do I think they overturn birthright citizenship? I mean, I hate to say this. Nothing surprises me. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but it strikes me that that amendment is pretty clear. If you were born in American soil, you're an American citizen. But if you see this article that Steve Miller, New York Times ran, Stephen Miller now is going after not just immigrants who came here. He's going after their children.
Oh, listen, that has been his MO since day one. If people have listened to Stephen Miller talk and the things that he has written about for years, he sees immigrants obviously as being immigrants. You don't belong here, but because you don't belong here, anyone like you have children, they also don't belong here. Now, I don't know how retroactive that is because Stephen Miller, then that means you don't belong here.
Yeah.
Honestly, because you are the great grandson of refugees who came to this country. So how far back does this go?
Does Donald Trump belong here? His mother is from Scotland. His grandfather is from Germany. How far back are we going? I guess J.D. Vance made that point, right? Like if you were here during the Civil War, I guess you're okay.
Yeah, I mean that is Barron Trump. Melania's not from here. She
was all except for Tiffany, all of the Trump kids.
Yeah. Tiffany's like the most acceptable American, I guess, to them.
Which is hilarious. So she's the least acceptable Trump child to him, but yeah.
Well, right, I know, which is like just so I can't. He's so disgusting. Let's see. Miller just wants to legally traffic children. Correct. And that's my other question. So we're seeing the videos out of CCOT, which are alone at face value in the stories that are being told by the people who have survived that horrible place are all men. Where are the women? Where are the women?
Well, they're not. They're not at CCOT, I don't think. But
no.
Alligator Alcatraz, some, wherever they are. I mean, some are in Delaney Hall. I know that in Newark, New Jersey.
Right. Which sorry,
Bonnie Watson.
LaMonica McIver. I saw her on TV last night. She just went back, I guess, to do like another walkthrough or something.
Yeah. Well, so those women are separated from their children. The children are in foster care. I'll never forget that horrible story from a few months ago of that Russian family that was fleeing Putin and are about to get deported back to Russia. And they were so distraught about getting deported back to Russia because obviously they'll end up in prison if that happens, that they were sent to Delaney Hall. Their son is somewhere in foster care. I don't know where. I would have taken him. But where are the women? They're being separated from their children. This is what we're doing now.
And Tom Homan, who, again, if you're new to this channel, new to the show, Tom Homan is from my hometown. He grew up mind you, he's about 20 years older than me, but he grew up about 15 miles from the front door in which I grew up. He is a horrible, horrible man. He's a monster. And he started his career as a village cop in a small village of like 700 people who were all white. He has never lived in a place where he was forced to coexist with people who don't look like him. And so then he went into immigration enforcement and took his, lack of world experience with him and has turned into a horrible, 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 horrible monster. And one of the things he said And goes, I thought you were saying village idiot. I am also saying that. And he, well, and also I will say, like, when there was an ice situation, there was a farm like not far from where his house is now, in Sackets Harbor, New York. There was a farm that rounded up a mother and like her three kids. And I will say this: the tiny, tiny, tiny high school and middle school, elementary school where these children went to school, the teachers and the principal of this little tiny school in Sackets Harbor, New York, they they made national news. National news. And 1,000 people in this little town showed up to protest Tom Homan and walked to his house. And it pissed him off. And it made and he still brings it up because he's so mad. But it was just enough to like make sure that those children and that mother are released from that detention center and sent back to the home that they lived in upstate New York. So there's that. But this is a man who said early on, I don't care about the separation. He's like, I'm not going to separate children from their parents. I'm gonna send them all away. I'm going to send them all away. I don't
Including the
care.
ones including the American citizens.
Yeah, including the American citizens. I don't care. I don't care. Hmm. Yeah, people are saying Holman is grotesque. Yes. Yeah. Looked it up. Looks cold. I don't know if that means Black River. Yeah, I know Black River. Just seeing what these other things here are. Why was the investigation into Tom kept under wraps during the Biden administration? I didn't know that there was one.
Listen, why would the Biden administration pull its punches on everything? And I want to just be really clear, the one thing we didn't cover today is that yesterday, the White House took over the DOJ's Twitter feed.
Yes.
Because they weren't happy with how the rollout was being portrayed on social media with the DOJ.
Mm-hmm.
This is now something that's not even making the front page of the newspapers, but let's be very clear. The Department of Justice is not the president's personal lawyers, or they should not be. They're the Department of Justice. They work for us.
Yep.
Not for the White House. So the White House should keep its hands off its Twitter feed, except, of course, we know this White House is controlling the DOJ. And so what I want to be very clear about is that Joe Biden had an attorney general who went so overboard in not wanting to be perceived as being partisan that he went to the extreme.
Overcorrected.
Overcorrected. And that can't happen next time. I mean, as I said, we need 4 years to clean up and make it clear that if you ever elect somebody who does shit like this on behalf of the American people, there will be consequences for you. And if there aren't any consequences for you, then you're going to expect to keep electing people like this. And that's what happened. There were no consequences for anybody after January 6th, except the rubes who went to prison, then ultimately got pardoned, who were prosecuted for this.
Yep.
If Jack Smith had been allowed to start his work 2 years earlier, we would have had trials by now before before the election.
Yep.
DOJ sat on its hands because our Attorney General, Merrick Garland, wanted to overcorrect.
Yep. It's like what, the media perceive to do too. It's like, oh, well, we don't want to seem like we're liberals, so we're going to extra both sidesy to make sure that we're going to show the other side of the fascism and is an equal participant in this democracy. No.
Yeah,
The earth is flat, the earth is round.
I can't tell you this. I can't tell you how much people on air react to their social media. Just to be clear. They look at it all the time. And you know who knows that? The right. And that is why they sent tweet after tweet and showered them with, you guys are too partisan, you don't get both sides, and ultimately the media overcorrected too.
Yep. It's so true. They live online. They live
for the audience. Tail is wagging the dog. If you want to know why certain things are reported the way they're reported, even on MS Now, it is because of this. All of these people sit on their phone 24/7.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. And they care deeply. And I mean, the funny thing is too, is that, Donald Trump spends a lot of time online too. And it's just very quick back to the Kennedy Center honors. The way in which the Republican Party and all of the sycophants were filleting Donald Trump after last night's broadcast. I mean, it was like, oh my God, I've never seen anything so amazing and like the most beautiful broadcast with the best host ever. And I'm like, it was all very like daddy, daddy, love me. The whole like all of them. Rick Grinnell, Carrie Lake, like I mean, everybody, everybody. I was like, oh man, oh
Carrie
man,
Lake, who got rid of Voice of America, which, by the way,
yep,
is the worst except for USAID, the worst loss to American soft power,
mm-hmm.
and a minuscule amount of money
Yep,
lost to American soft
yep,
power.
yep. There's a bartender at this restaurant near our apartment. And I'm trying to think, he was from Eastern Europe. I can't remember which country it was. But he was saying how much Voice of America meant to him growing up, and that,
Me,
yeah. And he's like, and then he has a friend actually who worked at Voice of America who had just lost their job. This was, early this year. And he kind of was like he's like, are you, what's your, because people are always like a little bit afraid to start talking about it. And I was like, no, 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 have at it. Have at it. I was like, I hate the guy. Oh, Hagrid. Hello, Hagrid. Such a good boy.
look who came! Look who came to say hi to me. My little Hagrid.
Such a good boy.
Such a good
I'm checking the chat here. Let's see. Alicia Menendez responds to tweets during
Alicia
commercials.
Menendez is a good person. She's a good.
Oh yeah, you know her. She's a Jersey.
I've known Alicia Menendez since she was 15. She's a great person. She's very smart. She's been through a lot. Alicia's
yeah. The Pick Me Party. 100%. I can't believe we're going to live through this in 26. Same.
You never know what the world is going to bring you.
Vio Lake. Yeah, Carrie Lake actually, she blocked me on Twitter. Must be all the ads I made about her. Does not like me. Let's see. What a great canine. Yeah, it's so good. Adam Mackler has been hitting it out of the park. I like Adam Mackler. I like him a lot. On Abby's show, especially, he called Scott Jennings a liar to his face. Good.
Has he been back on that show since?
I know. See, Hagrid just wants to go outside.
Hagrid does want to go outside. That's the problem. Hagrid it's hard for Hagrid to go outside until this construction is done. So
yeah, Katie Tur talks out of both sides of her mouth when it comes to Trump.
Well, her husband just became the new anchor of CBS Nightly News.
Yep. I was like, when they announced him, I was like, you know what? That makes total sense. That makes all the sense for all the reasons. Like, his daughter and his ex-wife live in Israel, and he has been, I'm sure, shares Barry Weiss's opinions and all of that stuff. And also he's a both sideser, and he was critical of Joe Biden and like all of these things. Let's see. I feel bad for her dad. That was about Alicia, I think. I'm assuming.
Yeah. You know what? She's very close to her father.
Yeah. Have any Dems reached out to you or the Seneca Project about making ads?
Well, yes, Michelle, you made an ad for a Dem recently.
I did. I made 2 digital ads all by myself for a Democrat in a congressional race coming up early next year. So that's fun. And while I have not been as involved in Seneca Project lately, just because I've been so focused over here, I do know that they did something for the Tennessee race. I didn't have anything to do with the creative that they did, but they made an Y'all Politics, I think was the group that they worked with. And but also, with the Democrats, especially, like, if you can't coordinate with the candidates, so a candidate can't actually go to a PAC and be like, hey, make me an ad, because that's like coordination.
Yeah, no, it has to be an
yeah.
expenditure.
Yeah. I respect Adam's grind. Me too. Katie Tur will be a Trumper. I think, Katie Tur, I read her book after the 2016 election. She doesn't vote.
Why?
She said her reasoning was that she was like, well, it's my job to like tell unbiased, report the news unbiased. And if I vote, then that I have, I'm forced to make a choice, and then I can't be unbiased anymore. And I'm like,
you know what? That's the kind of shit that's going to end up getting us into a dictatorship.
And that was 10 years ago.
Yep.
Let's see. PBS is a good Mayday growing fan. I know. Okay. Like, how crazy is this? We did the live the other night and did the 60 minutes. We aired the 60 minutes segment that, aired in Canada, and we had the thing, whatever. It has more views than anything that we've ever posted on this channel. And we haven't even officially launched yet, but we have like doubled the subscribers in the last 36 hours. And like, welcome if you are new here. We're so glad you're here. Thank you so much. And this is the kind of content and the kind of information and programming that we will bring you. And we promise to always bring you as fast and as accurately as we possibly can. Let's see. I saw your Hunger Games clip chopped on us Facebook. They thought they were clever chopping your clip and pretending it was there. Wait, who?
Who did that? Somebody chopped up our clip?
If that's real. Oh, what do you think of George Conway running in Congress?
I'm all for it. He's in my district. He would be running in my district. I'm all for it. I know George. I think he's great. I don't know any of the others running personally, so I can't say. You do, Michelle, right? Don't you know some of them personally?
Yeah, Micah Lasher.
Yeah,
I know Micah.
I don't support our Jack Schlossberg.
You don't like him.
I don't.
I'm actually
I don't like the Lucky Sperm Club. I don't like the Lucky Sperm Club. Sorry.
Well, I beyond that, like I don't have an issue with that as much as I'm actually kind of surprised, like how kind of like unorganized his campaign is. Because it's kind of like all over the place.
Has that guy ever had a real job? Like my whole thing is, if you haven't had I want to go back to technocrats. I want to go back to people who actually know how to get shit done, not just people who tweet, because we don't.
Yeah, it's a very online campaign that's not really translating into the real world. I'm actually kind of surprised by it.
Like George has a great social media game, obviously, but George also has gotten shit done, right? Yeah. Some of which I disagreed with back in the day, but the reality is George will do the right thing.
I think he's going to have a bit of a hard time in that district. Although you know what, that district goes to the east side now, which is way more conservative. So maybe he'll be okay. I don't know, but it's the west side is not going to be as welcoming, I think, to a former Republican. But the east side, I think, will be. So
yeah, it'll be. George is running as a Democrat. George is no longer a Republican. So.
Yep. People keep talking about this. Oh my God, did you see Lev Parnas blow a gasket? Something about Midas and Cohen for using his son. I don't know what that's about.
I don't know what that's about too.
I don't know what that's
Midas
about.
is Midas. Like,
I'm gonna just
do what we do
very myself. Yeah, about that. But yeah, what we do here, we like to, we don't take ourselves like too seriously, but like there are certain things that we won't do, and the clickbaity stuff is not really my jam. And the over sensationalizing of things, I don't always. It's just I can't live with myself doing some of that stuff. Let's see. Conway jettisons that wife of his ex-wife, right? Kellyanne. Although, have you seen her lately? She looks different.
I saw her. I ran into her at 30 Rock. Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Right. You told me that. Yeah. I saw her on TV the other day, and I was like,
yeah.
Who that?
Yeah. I saw Kellyanne. I didn't have a chance to talk to her because she was walking one direction. I was rushing to get on set, but she was not at MSNBC. She was walking through 30 Rock. Fox is right across the street, which is where she's a contributor. So I don't know what she was doing there, but
wait. Well, I'm sorry, really quick. So Lev Parnas said that Midas is a money laundering operation.
Okay, whatever.
No, that's. Somebody said, I'm starting to like Steve Schmidt. Have fun. I used to work for him. I have feelings. I'll have to go watch that Lev Parnas thing. I love Steve Schmidt.
They definitely, the stealing material part is true. With the Midas stealing.
Oh, yes. I mean, I'll tell you right now, when I was at Lincoln Project, there was a couple times that they legit frame for frame like stole some of our work, like frame for frame, and it was kind of like, really? Okay. I mean, we never said anything. We never said anything about it. I mean, we did privately, but no, it was something that they did pretty often. I don't know that they do it anymore. I mean, obviously, I haven't been at Lincoln Project. I haven't been in creative and Lincoln Project for almost a little, I guess, 2 years now. I left creative in Lincoln Project in like late January of 2024, and then I left the organization in June for reasons that I'm not going to go into. But people asked me to be specific about Steve.
You guys, sometimes when you leave a place, you know, it's just better to just leave it behind.
Yeah, I just, you know,
and just not, because the more you dwell on it, and trust me, I spent 8 years dwelling on Governor Murphy of New Jersey.
yeah, exactly. It's just kind of like at this point,
it's not healthy.
I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's their dad. I'm just seeing if there's any more. Don't say anything. Yeah, no. See, you're not going to hear me. You're not going to hear me saying anything specific. At least I'll make a face, and that will be just.
Midas Touch advertises for Larry Ellison. What?
I don't know about that.
I don't know that.
I mean, I don't watch Midas, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Michelle, you want to learn about Molly Midas and Lisa Hopo has over there for 5 years. You might to learn about modding. Oh, like getting moderators. I know I keep saying that I'm going to do that here, and it's not because I don't want to. It's just because I literally, when I'm here, like we're doing this YouTube thing through StreamYard, so it's like I don't have like the capability to assign moderators through this. So then I think I have to go back through to like a live chat and rewatch it and then hit the things. Like I don't know exactly how to do it, and I promise when I have 5 seconds of free time, I will.
Yeah, the whole thumbnail thing about breaking or meltdown, like that's just clickbaity. I agree.
Yeah, and everybody kind of does it, and from what I've been told, especially like when you see the thumbnails and people are like making the faces and stuff, I guess it's good for like
engagement,
and like algorithm stuff, and like that's why people do it. I'm willing to not get an extra few clicks to not do that. At least
we're trying to be ethical here. Something is breaking. Yeah. If we say something is breaking, it's because it's really breaking.
Yeah,
like, we do that on Substack sometimes, where I'll say breaking, but I'll only do it if it's really breaking, right?
Yeah.
If it's not breaking, I'm not going to do it, even though I know that I will make more money if I say breaking, because there's a serious correlation between that and clicks and subscribers. But I will tell you, I don't do it because I think it's totally unethical. And I think it's also unethical to say that somebody's melting down over something that you said, unless they're really melting down. Like I wrote something today where I basically said that Barry Weiss, if people had staggered out of Dachau had come to Barry Weiss, what would she have done? I'm sure people will be very offended by that. I'm sure some people will melt down about that.
Yeah.
I'm not, unless they really melt down, I'm not going to say they're melting down. So far from what I see on Twitter, people are melting down.
Oh, there's a whole lot of melting.
Yeah.
The melting has entered the room. Love Waj, Danielle and Allison. Me too. Yeah. I think they're great.
Waj is fantastic. Waj is the nicest guy.
He's really smart too, and like very insightful. Let's see. And listen, people are saying that, it's all about the money. Like, here's the thing. People got to make a living, right? Like, people got to make a living. I have no problem with people making money, doing things. Like, I get it. I gotta pay my bills too. But, then there's sometimes it becomes the entire part of why people are doing things. And that's kind of where folks lose me. Let's see. What else? I love your ethics and your hearts. Thank you very much, BJG. And we love all of your comments in the chat because you're very funny. Waj is great. Have to leave. Merry Christmas. You too, Raymond.
Waj is a terrible capitalist. Waj always talks about it. He's a terrible capitalist because he gives it all away for free.
I know. As an independent contractor, for many, many years, I struggle with the same thing. I get it.
I have to say this because I think this is, I get this all the time. Like, why are you paywalling all your stuff? You're gatekeeping, you're paywalling. Like,
yeah, you get like hate mail about it.
I get hate mail about that. Couple of things. Like, it's basically a full-time job to write this stuff, just so people are clear. And so the same way that you don't expect to work for free, like, I also don't think I should work for free. I will say this. If you watch us here, I pretty much tell you what's behind my paywall every single day. Like, every single day. So for people who are here, you get the preview much more than anybody else. Is this the last show of the week? Well, yes, because tomorrow is Christmas, right, Michelle? Are we doing a show on
Mhm.
Christmas? I don't remember.
I don't know. I thought maybe we could jump on for a few minutes, like early afternoon after
Yeah.
presents and before I start cooking. But I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
see.
We'll
I'm
see.
not, I don't want to promise anything, but
Um,
if you subscribe to the channel, you'll be the first to know if I schedule something out.
yes. And in terms of Friday, yes, we're going to take the day off. I am traveling. Michelle needs to just get a day of sleeping in. I
know.
have a flight at the crack of dawn to Miami. Yeah. Monday I will be traveling back from Miami. But Michelle, I think you're going to potentially be back by yourself on Monday. We'll see.
Yeah. Yep. I'll be here.
Yeah. So Monday we're here. Friday, just so people know, we pre-taped our Jeff Jarvis show yesterday.
Mhm.
So it might be a little dated by the time Friday runs, but
Yeah.
nevertheless, we are doing a show on Friday at 11. So you could watch out for that. Olga and I are not doing our show tomorrow because it's Christmas, or next Thursday because it's New Year's.
Mhm.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. And I'm trying to think what else. We are somebody asked if we're cooking for dinner for Christmas. Yes, I just got a massive food delivery here right before the show began because I'm too busy to actually go and do it myself. So somebody just delivered all the food from Wegmans. But I am making
Wegmans. I love
Wegmans.
Waggies.
Upstate New York, Wegmans. Yep. I am making a roast turkey. I am making some cream spinach. I am making some Parmesan smashed potatoes. I am making a pumpkin pie. I am making a chocolate pecan pie with bourbon. Pecan pie.
I'm making beef Wellington. I'm making
Ooh,
individual beef Wellingtons and with garlic chive mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
And honey roasted carrots. That's what I'm making for dinner.
Yeah, Michelle. That sounds good. Roasted carrots. Yeah, maybe I'll make that. That sounds really good.
With some like rosemary. I think it'll be good.
That sounds yummy. So yes, I'm cooking.
Hence why that grocery bill was so expensive.
Oh my God. Yes.
Gordon Ramsay beef Wellington. That is correct.
Yes, I know exactly what I made that before. It's very, very
I
good.
usually make like the whole log of it, but like I actually find that the individual ones like cook more evenly because sometimes the ends get like a little too well done. So I'm actually gonna get I got extra puff pastry dough. So I'm gonna make individual ones, and I'm making 5 of them because there's 5 of us. So that'll be good.
Okay, and then I'm trying to think what else.
Julie, Michelle, watch the Lev video. I absolutely will be. Is the Lev video on his Substack? I'm assuming probably because that's where he does all his stuff.
Yeah. Okay, we'll watch it.
Hot Pocket Wellington.
We should have Lev. Olga and I had Lev. Olga knows Lev from Brighton Beach. They grew up together.
Yes, and Lieutenant Colonel Urso made the ice buckets. That is
did?
Correct. Yeah, I think that's my father.
Oh, that's
my father-in-law in the chat. Yeah,
Joe's a junior.
Yeah, Joe. Well, Joe is actually not. So my father-in-law is junior, but my Joe is not a junior because there's like a middle name and like there's like a different thing. So it's not technically a third, but there are 3. There's 3 generations of the same name. Yeah.
So so Olga and I had Lev on our Substack like months ago, like I want to say 6 months ago, and he is like he's hilarious. But the 2 of them just sat back and had their like Brighton Beach like block by block, like that guy was in the Italian mob because he lived on block whatever, and that guy was in the Russian mob because he lived on block whatever, and that guy, and I'm like watching this and I'm cracking up because it's such a Russian conversation, and I grew up that way, but I didn't grow up in Brighton Beach. My parents, yeah. So
Midas guy's from Ukraine. Yeah, Aaron Parnas is right. He's Ukrainian, I thought, right?
Well, Aaron Parnas isn't a Midas, is he?
Aaron Parnas, yeah, I think he's part of the Midas universe. I think so.
Oh, then why did Lev go crazy on them stealing his stuff?
That's what I think. I think that there's something going on. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm getting.
Yeah, they're Ukrainian.
Yeah.
And Olga is half Ukrainian, half Russian. She pretends she doesn't want to acknowledge the Russian side. But
well, I mean, I get that.
Yeah. I think Yeah.
Let's see. I have to run. Bye, John. I heard it kicked off big time. Lev and Midas last night. Yeah. See, this is what everyone's saying. I'm gonna have to go watch this afterward.
Yeah.
Lev and Olga, no, they got the details.
11 Olga definitely no.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been
Oh,
fun.
they screwed over Aaron. That's what it was. Well, how did they
Oh,
screw
they
over Aaron?
did?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wow.
That's
Nobody
good.
is more online with Aaron than Aaron Parnas. Like anything happens, Aaron Parnas is like, he's like, hey, everybody, this just in. And it's like 100 videos a day. I mean, like, God bless. The guy's he works hard.
Yeah.
Let's see. He asked Aaron to sub this week. He recently started doing things with them, I think. Yeah. I've always thought of Aaron Parnas as being part of like their universe. Like, I don't know directly. I don't know this. I just, as an outsider, had just assumed he was mad about their treatment of Aaron. I mean,
You know what? I got to be honest with you guys. Whatever Midas does, whatever Aaron does, whatever anybody else does, like that's their
yeah.
and God bless. And I hope they all do well and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
here to do our stuff. And I just, the
Mhm.
drama,
There is always drama. There's
the
always drama.
online world drama and these influencer dramas are crazy. Most of them have never actually worked in politics. The way Michelle,
yeah, a lot of them have never been like actual,
they just showed up one day,
practitioners, if you will.
Yeah, they showed up one day during
There's
COVID.
a place for that, you know. There's a place for that,
yeah.
but-
They showed up one day during COVID and decided that they were gonna, build a platform. And God bless. And I hope they all
and
rich.
people are very good at it. But,
Yeah,
you know.
they're all very pithy. Most of them don't actually know what they're talking about because they've never actually worked in the grind and they don't actually work in politics. So my attitude is great. Like there's a place for that. And
I mean, I look at the other side, like Benny Johnson and Ben Shapiro and them never worked on a campaign or a PAC or anything like that too. It's like, that's what I mean. Is like there's a place for everybody. It's just I think not confusing the two, I think is important as a consumer. But to each their own, I guess.
Yeah, but most of them don't actually break anything. They just kind of talk about
they regurgitate kind of other things, which is, where, it'll, it is what it is.
God bless.
Yeah, God bless. Do your things, everybody. But women are emotional. Exactly. We're the ones with the problem. Lev cried. He's so upset. Really? Jesus. This is why I'm so glad to have found Julie. She knows her shit. Amen, Johnny. I'm so glad I found Julie too.
Thank you. Lev was saying that Midas was covering for Michael Cohen, who was Trump's guy during the Epstein era. What?
This seems
Whatever.
like a strange. Yeah. See, this
Whatever.
is drama. This is drama.
Yeah, this is
I
drama.
like their legal stuff, but that is as far as I follow them. Did you not watch the Turning Point Bloodbath?
Oh my God. That's all we've been talking about for the last, you just come to the show.
Me. Yeah, no, I mean, this is me literally the last few days screaming at the television again last night, Julie. I was watching MSNBC and them talking about the Republican Party and it's like how it's going to be better after Trump. And I was like, I think it was like a conversation with the Rev or something. And they were all talking about it. I was like, did you guys not watch TPUSA this weekend? The next iteration of MAGA is going to be worse. And because they were talking about the next generation and like the younger people, I'm like, yes, they're worse. They're worse.
Which Rev?
From Al Sharpton on MSNBC. They were talking about like the next generation. And it's like,
come on.
they're
Sharpton, whatever. Here's what's going to happen. Here's the next generation. Because we actually watch Turning Point USA. We talk about it all the time. The next generation are fascists. They're Nazi adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
They believe that it's okay to go after Jews and to say that the Holocaust didn't exist. And it's okay to constantly blame that on Jews, which is what Megyn Kelly, who I used to be close to, did. She blamed the fact that there's anti-Semitism on the right on Ben Shapiro, who is Jewish, because Ben Shapiro went after her.
Mm-hmm.
So now in the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, which sometimes is okay and sometimes I think really is not okay.
This is the mark.
Went after her for saying, how dare you blame a Jew for anti-Semitism?
Oh, wow.
Yes. Oh, yes. And so
Jonathan Greenblatt still running.
Jonathan Greenblatt is still running the ADL. And I've had very, very, very big problems with the way Jonathan.
Yeah, there's been some times that I've been I'm as a non-Jew, like from the outside, I've been a little confused by some of the things.
Not good. But in this case, they were right. So what is happening to the next generation is that the gloves are off. The chain is unchained. Donald Trump is on his way out. Candace Owens is on her way in. Ben Shapiro is on his way out. I would venture to say that Turning Point USA itself is on its way out, because this whole Erica Kirk, Jesus love, pray is, yes, I saw that Tim Miller and JVL.
I did too. And yeah, and also what Tim Miller had said, that he was, and I'm paraphrasing, but he was like very alarmed at the level of anti-Semitism and Jew hatred in young Republican and conservatives. I don't even know that you can call them conservatives anymore. Like, they're not conservatives. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just,
I will say this again, and I almost want to do a whole separate show on this, even though it's a little niche, because Benjamin Netanyahu spent decades, and I mean decades, giving the back of the hand to American Jews, doing everything he could to elect Republicans, up to and including when he all but campaigned with Mitt Romney back during the Obama second election, consistently has said that American Jews are not his cup of tea. He doesn't need them because he's got the right and he's got the evangelicals. Well, Benjamin Netanyahu, here's what you've got. You have now lost this upcoming generation of American Jewish Democrats with what you're doing in Gaza. And you've empowered the anti-Semites who don't give a shit about what you're doing in Gaza. What they give a shit about is that they want to kill Jews. Because Hitler was cool. And this Holocaust was either fake or justified.
Hope it was worth it.
I hope it was worth it. There's not one person on earth who's done more to harm Jews in this country than Benjamin Netanyahu.
He's a monster.
Every time I have a tremendous number of cousins in Israel, I'm very close to them. Very, very, very close to them. And they keep sending me why, see the protests, they see all this stuff. They keep, why do Americans hate us so much? And I want to say to them, and I have said to them, why does they hate Netanyahu? They're not Netanyahu.
Yeah. People were protesting Netanyahu in the weeks and months leading up to October 7th.
They show up every Sunday to a protest. So these are not Netanyahu supporters at all.
Right.
But what I've said to them is, your prime minister did this. Do you understand the harm that he has caused me as an American Jew? And to my child, who's scared sometimes to walk home from school because there are protests happening against Jews?
So awful.
It's
so beyond.
This is what's going on here. So I want to do a whole Substack on this. I want to do a whole separate show on this. I don't want to do this. It's the day before Christmas. I don't want to necessarily, it's Christmas Eve. I don't want to go off on this tangent today. But, this guy is a scourge. He's a scourge. And he has empowered this underbelly of anti-Semitism. And he doesn't give a shit because he doesn't give a shit about American Jews. He doesn't give a shit about diaspora Jews.
No, absolutely not. Does not care. Truly.
What he cares about, what he cares about is staying in power. And none of us can vote for him, so he doesn't give a shit about us.
Exactly.
He does not care. He would not care if another Holocaust happened. Doesn't care. I don't think he gives a shit what happened on October 7th, other than
it was useful to him. It was useful to him
to stay in power. It was useful to him to get unleashed. It was useful to him to do everything he's ever wanted to do.
Yep. He belongs in
He does belong in prison. He belongs in prison. He belongs in ignominy. And it is offensive to me. And everybody here is talking about, I see in the chats like, oh, so-and-so supported by AIPAC, so-and-so supported by AIPAC. I can tell you I have friends in AIPAC. They're disgusted. They don't agree.
Yep. Yeah. I wish people understood that it's not so black and white. Not everything is so black and white.
Yeah.
But
Heidi, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
100%. And somebody, Patricia said, I got a positive note, which we should end on, that Ron Filipowski, who runs everything over at Midas, at least editorially, had said that we're poised to pick up 30 seats next year, assuming we have free and fair elections.
Ron
I think it could be more than that.
That we could pick up seats?
I think it would be more than that.
We're going to pick up seats. I don't know if the Senate's in play, but I think it's more in play now than it was last year. What do we need? We need 4 in the Senate. And I could see, listen, pay attention to Iowa because that could be the sleeper.
Really?
Well, if you want to get the majority back, yeah, because look, Maine you've got Maine,
Mhm.
um, you've got Maine, you've got North Carolina. I think those are very much in play for the Senate. What else is up? You've got Texas, which if you've got Ken Paxton as the Republican nominee,
Mhm.
outside shot, and you've got an open seat for Joni Ernst's seat in Iowa. I mean,
Mhm.
you know, that's in
Good
play.
point. Good point. Good point.
So, Julie, are you smoking pot? Your screen says yes. I know.
Touched by an angel.
The sun just came out.
I know. I love it. You got like a little sun lens flare happening
My
on the
friends,
side of your
I am
screen.
not a pot girl. Trust me. I had a friend who once gave me a gummy, but it was a medical marijuana gummy, and I had this band of cold go around my chest,
Oh
and
my
I
God.
begged him. I thought I was having a heart attack. I was like, "Take me to the hospital." And he's like, "Are you crazy? Like, what is a hospital gonna
Have
do for you?"
have you heard those 911 calls from people who got too high and they're calling like, "What's wrong?"
That I wasn't high. I just thought I was dying. I literally was high for 3 days. It
That's
was
awful.
awful. It
That's
was
so awful.
it was awful. I
Just
am
so
the
people
person.
know, like, the first time I think that you and I went to go have drinks together, I think we had, like, 3 drinks over the course of, like, several hours, and we were both hammered. So,
I
like
mean, hammered, like, you guys, this is like I drink look at you know what this is that I drink every day? It's decaf tea. I'm not a Mormon, but I live like one. Like,
Yeah, you do.
I
It's
really
funny.
do. I barely drink. I like I
You're
don't know
not a
why.
prude, I just think in the substance area, you're
And it's
just
not
like,
it's not I'm not
I can't
like,
do it."
to each their own, like, go do your thing. I am the
Right.
person that you take to schools who's like, "Listen, kids, don't do pot because this is what happened to me." Like, I am literally
Ah.
that person. Um, so and by the way, I wish that were not the case because my understanding is that pot does a lot of good things for people, so
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
does, it
yeah,
does. Yeah,
I'm not that person. I am not that person.
yeah.
So yeah. So
Well, tonight, are you, well, you don't do, like, because 'cause you're Jewish, but, like,
no, we
but
do.
your
My
husband,
husband's Catholic. No, listen, we got a
you
trip.
do Christmas Eve stuff tonight, right?
Yes, so
Sort of.
my husband's very into Christmas, so we're gonna do Christmas Eve stuff. I'm gonna go to church with him tomorrow.
Okay, that's nice.
Fortunately, we're in Pennsylvania, and there's the church that he goes to in New York is awesome and progressive, and
Yeah, I
I love
don't
it.
know if
Yeah,
Pennsylvania
yeah.
Catholic Church is gonna be the same.
Well, you know what? There are some, if anybody knows any good Catholic churches in the Lehigh Valley, let me know. But there's two options. There's one where it's the priest is like really conservative and it's not great. And
Mhm.
then there's another where the priest is okay, but it's like a 7-hour commitment because this guy just loves to talk. Like we
Ugh,
literally time
a lot.
we time his is it homily? I don't even know what it is, but
Yeah.
we time it. And so yeah, it's really,
Mm.
really, really but I actually look forward to going with my husband because as I keep saying, it means a lot to him.
Yeah.
And I always get something out of it, and I'm not
Yeah.
religious.
And it wasn't forced upon you as a child, and therefore, you didn't have to endure some of the traumatic, parts of Catholicism that really does
Okay,
traumatize people.
Melissa, no midnight mass. Are you kidding me? Did I ever have to say that I drink decaf coffee or tea? Like,
My grandma
I
used to go to the not midnight mass, but she went to the one on Christmas Eve that was at, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 or something. My grandma, man, toward the end of my grandma's life, she was going to Catholic church, like, every day, and I'm like, I think the heaven was very much on her mind. I think it was very
whoever
much.
said Pope Francis said homily should be 7 to 10 minutes has not met this priest because that guy, by 7 to 10 minutes, he's just clearing his throat. That guy
Did you
does
see
not.
the new cardinal, in New York was, is like a pro-immigration, like, the new pope appointed him or something? I thought that was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah. They got rid of the bad one who
Yeah, get rid of that bad one who went on Fox News and was
yeah,
like,
bye.
"Yay."
Yes, we did see that Ben Sass is dying of pancreatic cancer.
Awful,
It is
awful, awful.
awful.
And listen, and as much as, like, overall, I didn't agree, obviously, on the other side of the aisle with the things that he stood up and did what he needed to do. He did the right thing. He stood up against Trump. He was very, vocal in his opposition and voted to impeach him. And so, Ben Sass, I think, is a patriot and a good person, and certainly at 53, 54 years old to have this kind of thing happen to you. I mean, at any age, but especially to be that young is so awful. And my heart goes out to him and his family. I am just it's devastating. That was a hard thing to read, even as
Yeah.
someone who doesn't know him. It was
The
very,
good
very
the good
sad.
thing I got out of there's nothing good about it, but the one positive thing that I saw is that he's obviously very religious, and he obviously has
Yeah.
faith, and he obviously believes in the
And
afterlife, and
I hope that helps him through
I
this.
hope that helps him through this, and I hope it helps his family through this.
Yeah, I do too.
Dose and Cat, you went to church in Old Church Slavonic. I have been to many of a Russian Orthodox church service in Old Church Slavonic, and it is truly, if people have not done it, go do it. It is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
I feel like I shot a wedding in a Russian Orthodox church once.
Yeah, unfortunately now the Russian Orthodox Church is an arm of the Putin regime, so I'm not.
Yeah, this was a long time ago.
Yeah, but I will say gorgeous, just beautiful. And yeah, Dance Fan 62, you said that Cohen was on a podcast with Zev and Lev, and like that's the thing. I think Lev and Cohen are buddies, so I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, that's why this whole thing is very confusing.
Yeah, it makes no sense. We'll check
but what was I going to say? Oh, Christmas Eve. So we have a bunch of family. Obviously we switch every year. I go for Thanksgiving and Christmas with my husband's family and my family. We switch each year. And tonight, all the kids and all the cousins and everybody's coming over, and my father-in-law plays the accordion, and so he gets the accordion out.
cool.
This has been going on since my husband was a little kid, and there's these song books with all the lyrics of all the songs, and everybody signs them. And so if you'll see, if you get the book from whatever year and you see everybody's name with the year on them from, going back however 30 years or something. And so, he sits down and plays the accordion and everybody sings, and then it ends with the 12 days of Christmas, and like that's what they do. And growing up in like a tiny, tiny family, like it's it's
I
fun.
love that.
Yeah, it's fun.
He's got the squeeze box. Yeah.
Yes. And it's funny because we make the Trump joke with like the,
Yeah.
how he talks like this.
You do the Who, like Mama's got the squeeze box
Right.
on her chest.
Yeah.
Julie,
accordion-
you try an African American church. Listen, I have spent many, and I mean many, a Sunday in an African American church because I worked for Democratic politicians. And back in the 90s, apparently there were not many Black staffers they could take with them. So guess who got to go? And I will tell you something. I am not religious at all, but if I were ever going to convert to anything, it would be to be like an AME member or Baptist in a Black.
Listen.
Because nothing is more awesome than the call and response.
And gospel music. Yeah. And the gospel music, I was like, I have often said, because I am not a believer, if I had grown up around gospel music in a Baptist church, I think that I would be a believer, because that music alone and the voices and the harmonies, that is what I feel like God sounds like truly, in the truest sense of the meaning. Like ain't nothing better. Nothing.
Yep.
Nothing.
Absolutely.
I've never been, and I would, if somebody wants to bring me, I will go.
I will go. I have gone, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I pretty much for
Somebody's
somebody
everywhere.
for somebody who's not
Temu
Christian,
Gump,
I've been
Temu Gump, everyone.
Temu Church Gump. I know. Well, because I worked in politics for so long, that's why.
Yeah.
And the Russian Orthodox stuff, I'm trying to remember why. Well, I'll tell you a crazy Russian Orthodox story. My mother, who is also Jewish but grew up in Russia, said to me once that whenever she would go into a Russian Orthodox church and light a candle to the Virgin Mary and prayed for something, which was very rare because that's not who my mother is, that it would always come true. And so when I was trying to get pregnant, I was having a hard time getting pregnant. My mother dragged me to the Russian Orthodox church in New York. And we walk in there, and it's not a service. It's just, it was open. We just walk in, and the priest is there, and they all speak Russian. And the priest said, "What are you here for?" My mother said, "My daughter is having a hard time conceiving. We want to light a candle to a few saints." And the Russian Orthodox Church is very much about the saints. So we go in the icons. So we go to, the icon of the Virgin Mary, and then we go to some other saint who apparently is some fertility related saint. We light the candle, and my mother's like, "Watch what's going to happen." Sure enough, I got pregnant.
No.
And so my mother, every September, which is when I got pregnant, reminds me to go and light a candle to the Virgin Mary to, keep my son in good stead. I am basically an atheist, as is as is my mother, which is
Mhm.
very superstitious.
Mm.
And that's the story.
Listen, and here we are with your wonderful little son who I love.
I
He's
know, I
such a
know.
cutie.
So my point is
Cutie.
like, this is not a proselytizing story whatsoever because I'm not a believer at all. Obviously, I am Jewish, but
Mhm.
that's the story. That's what happened. And she said it's always worked for
I like
her
that.
every time.
It's magic. That's always kind of how I've thought about
Yeah,
it, magic.
yeah. That's a good point.
Mhm, mhm.
Yep.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, guys. So yeah, Bonnie John. Always love Julie's stories.
My Temu
too.
Gum stories.
Me too.
I should get my little, speaking of Ebenezer Scrooge, I should get my little like nightcap,
Yes.
little nightcap, put it on my head, open the book and be like, I'm going to tell you about weird things, weird stories from Julie's life.
I know, truly,
Like
truly.
the day that I ran into Carrot Top on the street.
Well, listen, I once spent, well, I have stories like hanging out with Maroon 5 in the car, like all kinds of weird things that happen to you in New York. Not maybe I'm not on the road with politics like Julie as much,
Yeah.
but like all kinds of weird celebrity run-ins and experiences when I was barely had money to feed myself, but I found myself in rooms with famous people and just wondering how the hell I got there. But New York is that's what
Yeah.
happens.
Carrot Top
and
and
down. I
Dancer.
know. I know.
Well,
I know.
Carrot Top I just saw on the street. I didn't actually interact with Carrot Top, but
I
whenever
I don't know that you missed much. No offense.
well,
to
I
Carrot
will
Top.
say,
It's
everybody's
a little
always like,
crazy.
what's your weirdest celebrity sighting or what's your coolest celebrity sighting? I'm always like, it's Carrot Top.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think. Do I have like a weird? I don't know. Like, I mean, I saw Conan on the street once. Conan's very tall.
Conan's very tall.
He's like so tall.
Conan's really
So tall. I saw him on Central Park South. He was walking west and I was walking east. I was going to the dermatologist and he was like like walking by himself with like, you know, just a t-shirt on, just walking, being Conan. Yeah, love Conan. All right, guys, I guess that's it. Thanks for sticking around a little longer today. We wanted to do some AMA and have some Christmas conversation that didn't involve, the collapse of democracy. But we're wishing everyone a very Merry Christmas, whatever it is that you're doing. Whether you're, having a small gathering or no gathering or whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe you're going to church tomorrow like Julie is. Be safe. I hope that you find happiness and you're able to enjoy yourself. And Merry Christmas is the season. For me, I don't know about everybody else, but being a non-practicing, non-believer person, but I do love Christmas, and I always think about Christmas and celebrate Christmas like a Muppet. It's all about peace on earth, goodwill toward men and women, and no mention of Jesus. So, it's all about togetherness and kindness and peace around the world. And that is what I wish all of you this Christmas.
Same here. All right, everybody. Great to see you all and have a very, very Merry Christmas if you're celebrating. If you're not, enjoy the day off. If you are by yourself this Christmas, please know that we're with you. I know it's a lonely holiday for some people.
It is. It is.
I will tell you, somebody who spent many Christmas by herself, I used to lie on the couch and watch the Lifetime Movie Network. And it got me through a lot of Christmases by myself because quite honestly, it's a pretty good gig to be left alone and to watch the Lifetime Movie Network.
Yeah. Order some Chinese food.
Order some Chinese food like the tribe does.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful Christmas. I will see you back here on Tuesday. Michelle will see you back here on Monday, and maybe we'll come back tomorrow and do a live. If something comes up. All right, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Merry Christmas.